everybody. It's me, Johnny, and with me I've got DJD and Craig.
Howdy. That's DJD, not Craig.
No Farmer today. Wow, I already blew the opening. What's up, guys? I'm Johnny Skywalker, and that's DJD. I'm not even gonna fix it.
No Farmer Skywalker. Funny.
Yeah. No. Hold on. I just gotta type. Oh, God. You know what? So this is the most relatable thing, right? As soon as you start doing something, what is like? Then all of a sudden, your people are like talking to you.
Oh, right? Sure. Yeah. Happens to me all the time.
Okay, this is about like work stuff. So this month at kindergartens, I'm supposed to be teaching weather, which is pretty normal. Like, how's the weather? It's rainy, it's sunny, it's cloudy, it's snowy, it's hot, it's cold, right? Go through all of that. And my wife's just like, are you supposed to do weather? Because I have like, the thing for her is fruit. And this is a great example of like, technically I did get a curriculum, but I'm allowed to really kind of do whatever. So I didn't even look at it, right? I know it's weather. I'm going to do this thing out of do for weather. And then she's like, it's fruit. And I'm like, is it? And I'm actually like reading it now. And it turns out it is fruit. She sent me two. I can do fruit or weather, which makes sense because I've got a bunch of, like, if I'm going to spread out these classes over 4 weeks, there is a level of like repeating you want to do so that they get it. But there's also, it's hard to, you don't want to teach like the same 6 words for 4 weeks. You know what I mean? So it sounds like it's both. I can do weather or fruit, which I've never done fruit. I've never done it. Maybe have I been supposed to be doing fruit and I've just not been reading it this whole time? I don't know. That's quite possible. It's quite possible. I take my job very seriously.
You were actually supposed to be teaching, like American history or whatever, and you've just been like...
Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. Whenever I sit down to stream or whenever I sit here at my desk in the studio, my phone just starts exploding. If I'm trying to take a nap or I'm trying to like work on something, all of a sudden I'm the most popular person in Japan. But like if I'm just like living my daily life, right? It's just quiet. Yep. Like people just leave me alone. It's great.
What is that? Like, is there a word for that? Like, because like I feel like there should be, right? Because like I swear, like sometimes like I'll start stream like super late, right? Like 3, 4, 5 a.m. or whatever, my time. And out of nowhere, like it would have been completely quiet. I would have been like, available for conversations or whatever all night long, just up watching like Fast Furious again. But like at like 5 a.m. or whatever, as soon as I hit like live, people start messaging me. And it's like what? Like what?
And then
what are you doing up?
It's not even when you hit live. You hit live and you got like a 5-minute intro screen, right?
Right. Yeah.
Minute 6, where you start and then you start talking, all of a sudden it just starts vibrating. And you're like, what is going on? Like, and then you're like, is it important? Should I check it? And you check it and it's like mid-level importance, right? You're just like, what's this? What's going on?
It's like, okay, we actually want to have a discussion right now. Okay, well, I'm not in a place where I can right now. But also, I know that if I don't have it now, who knows when the next time will be? So
right. It is nice to be like, I'm unavailable. That is nice to get to say that. Because people say that to me all the time when I'm trying to talk to them. They're like, oh, I'm not available. And I remember that I'm super understanding when that happens, right? So like people should be understanding if I'm not available. But anyway, what's up, guys? It's the Skywalkers. It's the Star Wars episode 9, aka episode 7, because we've missed a few. And to start off our Star Wars conversation, I wanted to bring up that I haven't seen Andor season 2 or Skeleton Crew.
I have not seen Andor season 2, but I have seen Skeleton Crew.
You know what I have been watching? I've been watching the Marvel Defenders. So this is really funny because it used to be on Netflix, right? We used to be like the Marvel Netflix shows, but now they're on Disney Plus. So now is it just Defenders now? Like, how do you differentiate that?
I really don't know. Like, it seems like they're trying to kind of sort of like retrocon it a little bit, to make it still kind of sort of canon. And so, like, I mean, especially Daredevil. But I mean, like, I'm wondering how far they'll go with the rest of the shows. Like, I saw an article, I don't know whether it's true, but it headlined that like the Jessica Jones actress is coming back.
Yeah, I saw something about that
Yeah.
too, which would make also Luke Cage and such to a degree
Right.
true. Which is funny because I think the actress who plays Mariah Dillard was in Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. Oh no, she's in Civil War. She's the mom of the boy who died, who talks to Iron Man. The actress who plays Mariah Dillard in Luke Cage. Anyway, so what ended up happening? I was watching Westworld with Chiho. We watched Westworld season 1 and 2. And we only can watch like maybe 1 to 3 episodes a week, right? Like, once a night kind of a deal. Once every few days. So we watched the first 2 seasons of Westworld, and then we started watching Daredevil, right? And she really liked it. So then it's like, well, we should watch all of the Defenders. Dude, Jessica Jones, did I say this on the podcast? Is Jessica Jones season 1 is one of the best encapsulated seasons of television I've ever seen. I think they did an incredible job with it.
I would say it's definitely very good. Yes. I don't know that it's
I'm going to put it up with one of the best. One of the best I've ever seen. Personally,
it would probably be up there for me, but I don't know that it would be at like the very top of that list. I don't know. I've seen some spectacular seasons, so I
mean, there are some spectacular seasons, and maybe I should go back and watch some. But as far as one season, right? We're not talking about a season arc or anything like that. We're talking about one season,
right?
Or like a multi-season arc, right? Like, so we're not counting like Sons of Anarchy season 1 through 3 or something. You know what I mean? Just one season,
right? Yeah.
Her introduction, the villain's introduction, and the pacing of it, of like going back, because it's not a mini series either, right? It's not 8 episodes; it's 13 episodes of like him being within her grasp and slipping out and going back and forth. Like the pacing of it, at least compared to Daredevil season 1, it was way better pacing wise. Not necessarily, I don't want to like, make it about which season was better, but like, or which, show is better. But as far as like pacing as a complete season 1 of Jessica Jones really did great. It's just very well done.
Yeah, I would definitely agree
season of television. It's very well done.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a moment in it where you're like, I mean, when you watch Daredevil season 1, you're like really invested, and then there's like a 3 episode like side arc where you find out about like Stick and what happened to him when he was a kid and all of that. And not that that's bad, but like, it really takes out a lot of the momentum of the rest of the story of the season. And then they like kind of go back to it in the last couple episodes, and like they don't do anything like that in Jessica Jones.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's important for Daredevil, not necessarily for that season, but for like that arc with like establishing him and Elektra, specifically Elektra.
Right.
I think that's like kind of fundamental to the plot overall. Like, I don't want to besmirch like those, like that little like mini detour, but it does kind of like mess up the pacing. I would agree with that.
No, I would actually 100% agree, and that kind of comes back to the one season thing, right? Like, that it makes it really adds to season 2, right? Because they already kind of established some of the stuff in season 1, so they don't need to do that in season 2, which is helpful. But it took away from the story of season 1. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like Book of Boba Fett, like the Mandalorian episodes in the Book of Boba Fett,
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah.
It just kind of just takes away from, and then you kind of come back to it, and it kind of works because the Mando's got to be at the end. He's there at the end of Book of Boba Fett. But yeah, it's, anyway, so we watched Daredevil, we watched Jessica Jones, we just finished Luke Cage season 1, which also, by the way, I forgot how good of a show that was.
I'm really looking forward to rewatching it, actually, yeah.
It was surprisingly good. The twists in turn, I mean, obviously it wasn't a twist because I remember it, but there were, like, I definitely didn't remember all of the timing of how certain things took place, which I really enjoyed. And, but then I realized there was a timing mistake. In Luke Cage season 2, there are 2 references to Daredevil season 2. One of them is kind of a small reference where like they just kind of mention Frank Castle, the Punisher. But one of them is a relatively big one where, you know, Rosario Dawson's character, Claire, she talks about like this big thing that happens in season 2 of Daredevil. And that's why she's in Harlem. Like she left Hell's Kitchen and came back to Harlem where she grew up.
Sure. Yeah.
Which, so I was like, oh, I forgot about that. So we actually, instead of starting Iron Fist, we have started Daredevil season 2. So I just watched the first episode of Daredevil season 2 yesterday. And let me tell you, man, the Punisher in Daredevil is such a good like representation of that character. It's so good.
I absolutely agree. That's actually, though, what you bring up there is actually why I'm watching through like all the other stuff too, though, because so I watched through season 1 of Daredevil, right? And then I watched through season 2 of Daredevil. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a few references here or whatever that I know are in other stuff, but it's not like taken away from the story really or whatever. It's fine, you know, like there's mentions, but like I kind of know what happened because I did watch those way back when. I don't need to rewatch everything to just get to like the new Daredevil stuff, right? Like I just can just watch this one show. And then Daredevil season 3 starts and like Daredevil's almost dead. Because of the events that happen in Defenders. Yeah. And it's like, shoot. Like, I mean, like, it is all connected to such a degree that I do kind of have to watch everything to, like, kind of, like, get the full story. Yeah.
That's the one that's why we started watching it, too, to watch the new Daredevil show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally, dude. Well, and they also made a reference to Jessica Jones. A very slight reference, though, right? Like in Luke Cage. I guess they've made a few references to Jessica Jones. So here's the thing. One thing I didn't notice at the end of Luke Cage, there is a little reference to Iron Fist. There's like a flyer up to learn martial arts from Colleen Wing that Claire takes. To which I want to throw out there, it's interesting. Did you watch Iron Fist and did you like it? There are 2 seasons of it. I watched both. Did you see them both? Did you like it?
I saw them both like when they initially aired. I liked them both as well. I think that Iron Fist season 1 is absolutely my jam. Just with like, I know it's slow for everyone else, but like the way that it's paced, I think is actually really cool. Just because it spends more time than like a show like that ordinarily would, with like character building and like stretching things out. And I don't think that actually works against it nearly as much as everyone else does. But I know everyone else got bored or whatever and stopped watching. So, I mean, like, you know, and I do get the criticism that Danny Rand is kind of like not the most likable character. He's kind of whiny. But guess what? I'm also a Star Wars prequels fan. I don't think anyone is more whiny than like Hayden Christensen as Anakin
and
Skywalker.
A Randolph Thor fan.
And a Randolph Thor too, as well. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm used to whiny protagonists that, like, you know, you kind of get annoyed with all the time. Like, I'm well experienced with dealing with that. Now, did that help me with Assassin's Creed 3? Not really, but we'll see.
Yeah, but I wonder
replay that at some point too.
Exactly. I wonder going back if I would hate Assassin's Creed 3 as much as I did when I. Well, and I remember not really hating it. I just remember not being as into the story, and that specifically had more to do with Desmond than with Connor personally.
The crazy thing for me is like I love the Desmond stuff. I feel like the arc of 2 kind of set it up to end in a lot of ways. And then like I think like carrying it on past that, they just kind of lost like what they were trying to do, you know, with that stuff. But then also like American Revolution should be 100% my jam. So Assassin's Creed 3 should have been like one of my favorite Assassin's Creeds. And like the fact that it wasn't, I was so disappointed by that at the time that I played it initially. And I'm hoping like this whole reason that I'm doing June is like my Ubisoft month or whatever is literally to play Assassin's Creed 3. Like that's pretty much the main reason. Like,
but the problem post Hamilton is you're like, why is Washington white? What is this? What's going on? You know? No, totally. So here's the other thing, right? Going back, I forgot how good Luke Cage is. That's it. The full stop. What a great show, dude. But also
great character too, just in general.
For Iron Fist. Yeah. No, that was the thing. You know, he does this monologue at the end of season 1 about like being a hero and doing the right thing, you know, not just like and like setting an example for the next generation and stuff. Dude, chills, man. What a great guy. But here's the thing. Danny Rand, Iron Fist. So full disclosure, I really like Iron Fist. I like the show. But I will say this. I 100% get why people don't like it. Because my favorite part of Iron Fist is the side characters.
Oh, sure. I can see that.
Right?
Yeah.
In Luke Cage, not like, Luke Cage is the main guy. That's it, right? Sure, Jessica Jones and Daredevil too, like you care about like Foggy and Karen or Trish, right? Or Malcolm, but really it's the main character, the named character that is the driving force of it. In Iron Fist, Danny Rand to me personally is like the least interesting character. He is a bit whiny, his power is cool and all that stuff, but like I really loved Ward in season 1 and season 2. Ward and Joyce. I really love Colleen. Colleen Wing is one of my favorite characters, just like straight up. And the actress who played Colleen Wing, she was offered a role in Shang-Chi, and she didn't take it. And she said she didn't take it because if she took it, it would mean that Colleen's done. Like Colleen can never be in the MCU, and she doesn't want to let that character go. That character meant so much to her. She doesn't want that to go away. And now there's a possibility that Colleen could come back. Also, another great character in Iron Fist.
It's crazy to say that when she did
is Misty Knight. Oh, what?
It's crazy that when she said that, like she doesn't want to be in Shang-Chi because like she wants to keep the character of Colleen alive just in case, or like just like as like a pipe dream, kind of like like
it was before
or whatever. Like
it was before they got it back.
Before they got it back, before they announced like the new Daredevil show or anything, I mean, like before that was even like a thing. Like that's just like such a like cool, like I don't know, like in context thing that like seems like obvious now or whatever, but like literally there was like no reason whatsoever to hope that like the Netflix Marvel shows, which most people stopped watching like halfway through or whatever,
Daredevil and especially Iron Fist. Everyone hated Iron Fist, right? Like, ugh. But also Misty Knight. Come on, dude. What she's in Luke Cage, she's such a great character. Man, she's so cool.
And she's such a like I've started reading some of the comics, right? Cuz I got my Marvel Unlimited back. And like both Luke Cage and Misty Knight are both really cool characters that show up in a bunch of other things, like all the crossovers and stuff and everything. Like they just pop up, and every time you see them, you're like very happy to see them. And like I'm just really, really hopeful, and I think we will. Like, I mean, get to see some of these characters like in movies and stuff too, and hopefully like they'll like resonate with like the same kind of feeling, because like it's like that to me is my favorite part of like the crossover stuff. Is the minor stuff that makes it feel like a lived-in world. You know,
exactly.
Like even Charlie Cox showing up to like be like Spider-Man's lawyer. Like such a very small cameo that ultimately, did they need that? No, not at all. But like, I mean, like it makes it seem like, oh wait, no, that makes sense because he would represent like a superhero if he knew him or whatever. I mean, like that's, it's just,
no, 100%. Well, that and like also at least in Luke Cage season 1, it totally makes sense why Luke's not involved in the Avengers and stuff like that because he clearly doesn't want to be. Right. Like just full stop. He doesn't want to be. He's not interested in that. He's just interested in his neighborhood.
That's the one of my favorite parts of the comics is that Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, who are together like almost all the time, they're just trying to live their lives. They really are. But sometimes things get so big and bad that they feel like obligated to like take part or whatever. And usually it's Luke who's like guided by a sense of morality, and then Jessica like, oh, well, Luke's doing this, so I probably should as well, But it's just, like, it's really cool to, like, see kind of, like, they're portrayed in the shows in a way that's, like, consistent with that idea. That, like, you know what, like, they're not out to be superheroes, but they do have power, and they do feel responsible for that power, and, like, using it when they absolutely need to. Like, I think that's really cool. Yeah.
Agreed. And so I just started Daredevil Season 2. After Daredevil Season 2, we're going to watch Iron Fist Season 1, and then we'll watch Defenders. And then, I mean, man, I don't even. So after Defenders, here's the deal, right? So after Defenders, technically speaking, we need to watch Jessica Jones season 2, Daredevil season 3, Luke Cage season 2, Iron Fist season 2, right? And then we
Right.
can finally watch Daredevil season 4. Or we could go back and we may go back and watch Westworld season 3 and then maybe season 4 as well. Because we stopped after season 2, because there's a pretty natural break point there that you could take a break.
There really is, yeah. Well, and they
so-
literally take a break in the show, not to give too many spoilers, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the we'll see, but it's not even this whole conversation is happening because actually I do have time to watch these, Star Wars shows, but I'm just watching old Marvel shows instead. That's what I'm doing.
Are you at all interested in the Ironheart show coming out?
Totally, dude. She's from Chicago.
Yeah.
I kind of so to be full transparency, at first I kind of didn't love, how all of the new characters are women too, and all of this stuff about all that whatever. But I really liked Ironheart in Wakanda Forever.
I did too. Yeah.
I thought she was great, and I'm really excited to see what she does. But so here's real problem here. I have yet to see the Marvels, Agatha All Along, Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, and Deadpool 3. Which technically I didn't watch Deadpool 2, so I should watch Deadpool 2. But I'm just not dying to watch Deadpool 2. I kind of want to just skip it and watch the third one, Yeah, so I got a lot of Marvel stuff to kind of catch up on. There may even be another show I haven't watched. I don't know. But before I can watch Ironheart, well, I don't even. That makes it sound like homework. I know I could just watch it, but I want to catch up on this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
and the thing is too, with all the flack that they've been getting, I will still maintain that Agatha All Along is a great show. I will still maintain that, what else did you mention? Obviously Thunderbolts, I'm a huge fan of that. The Marvels, I think, was actually a really good movie as well. It's crazy that The Marvels and Thunderbolt are among the lowest grossing MCU movies, because I think they're both actually B tier when it comes down to if you're tiering them from A to E or whatever, A to F. I think they're both at least B, if not higher. Thunderbolts actually did make me cry. I would probably put that in the A tier for me, but that might be a little bit.
Is it not doing well? Did Thunderbolts not do that great? Because I
Thunderbolts is the second lowest grossing MCU movie, I think, behind the Marvels. Yeah, but a lot of that, I think personally, has to do a lot with movie going patterns lately.
Yeah,
and everything. Every time I go to the movies, doesn't matter what I see. There's 3 other people in the theater.
yeah.
It's really a different.
Well, it's a really different time nowadays.
Yeah, I think that's affecting a lot of things. It's also really hard to justify necessarily spending that much on a single movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, that also increases the value of the subscription. So I'm kind of okay with it.
Well, it's
as long
hard
as they don't
when
raise the price.
It's hard when you look at current younger generation is much more comfortable watching YouTube or watching something on their iPad. You know what I mean? Or even phones or computers versus going to a theater, right? Or watching, something on streaming or on TV versus a traditional movie. And it's interesting to see people try to shift to that, right? This longer form, TV show, deeper story TV shows are doing well to a degree, but they're not making money. Is the issue, right? It's just it's super fascinating to see, man.
Yeah,
the media that we live in, but then also people get mad that oh well, da 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 or da da da. Well, we're tired of this. We're tired of this, and I mean. Thunderbolts is a new thing, right? It's not Captain America 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
Sure, there are recurring characters in it, but you know what I mean? It's not a direct sequel But it's whatever, man. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see the next Captain America movie. I just don't know when I will watch them, sadly.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
this
like
isn't even
even like
including
Captain
Star Wars,
America.
D. That's what we talked about. This isn't even including Star Wars. I haven't watched Skeleton Crew. I loved Andor season 1. I haven't watched Andor season 2
I loved it
yet.
too. That actually might be like one of my tops, like single seasons of a show. Like when it comes down to it, like I mean, like Andor season 1 was definitely a vibe through and through. Like, yeah.
There is one thing I'll say about Andor season 1 that it's definitely in the top for me, but in the comparison of Jessica Jones, there is a big shift in it, though. You know?
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
A big kind of tonal, I don't want to say tonal shift. Maybe it's not that the tone is different, but there is a big shift in the season. And I would even say that that's the same of Luke Cage. There's a big shift in season 1. Where there's a character you think it's going to be a big deal through the whole season, isn't a big deal through the whole season, and it doesn't turn out that character is the main issue, right? And the not that that's bad, like that's nice. It can be nice, but sometimes I would say it can feel like you're not getting what you came for. Does that make sense?
Sure. Well, like the equitable, like kind of like a comparison I think I would make there would be like season 3 of Heroes, actually.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Where that just changes. It's like two separate
It's
seasons,
really two separate seasons, which on their own, they're both so good, right? Like on their own, I really like both of them, but the fact that they're one season is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Right? Well, yeah. And even I think what
The Expanse does that a bit too, right? Like, I mean, the way that The Expanse is structured is a little bit different. Just because it's like it's almost like there's arcs instead of seasons, like just entirely. You know?
No, but I mean, like split it between multiple seasons. Yeah,
right. Yeah, but it's still a little bit like of like a bucket of water over your head, a little bit moment. You know, like of like, oh no, we're going in a completely different direction now. It's like, okay.
This isn't this anymore.
Yeah,
no, totally. And I think for me, the thing is with Andor, which I mean, spoiler to an old show. I really love anything heist. I am a fan of a good heist, especially when we got to put together a team. You know what I mean? I mean, like, and the team, especially when, man, you have a good team and then you have a newcomer to the team. You know what I mean? Like, that does, I'm all about it. And that's
let's go Deckard Shaw.
Right? That's half of season 1 of Andor. And then there's a shift, right? Post heist. And not that that's bad, but I just love heists, man. Like, so like if it was a whole, I don't even know if it could be a whole season of a heist, but like that's what I would have loved. Not to say it's bad, because again, like, I mean, it's actually incredible. Like season 1 of Andor is such great TV and so worth watching. But, it did feel like that to me of like, oh, like what, this is not what I started watching. Right. I started watching a heist thing and I was really enjoying it. And now it's definitely something else. Going back, Jessica Jones doesn't do that. It is what it is the whole time through. Like once they introduce the big bad and all of that stuff, like that's dealing with that is the whole thing. You know what else did a great job with that? Do you remember the era of TV where it was superhero versus superhero, like Iron Man versus Captain America, Batman versus Superman, all of that?
Yeah.
Civil War. So we all know what happens in those things when two good guys are fighting, right? They end up uniting at the end to fight the actual big bad, right? We all know it's going to happen. I loved that Captain America still fought Iron Man at the end. That they set you up to think that, no, actually we're going to go fight these, like, other super soldiers and stuff, and it's not about that. And then at the end, it is about that. Actually, we're totally gonna do that. So good, man. So good.
Like, the fact that there's like actual deal breakers, right? Like in the Marvel universe, where like things actually permanently kind of change. Like the fact that, like, you know what, like Iron Man and Captain America never are the same. They never like are friends again. Even
Yep.
like really after that, like just because Captain America essentially lied to
Yeah.
Iron Man, like he didn't
Yeah.
even do the actual murder. He lied, he covered it up. And like, I mean, like that was enough for it to just be done. Like that's cool because that kind of like it gives an element of realism to it that like you just don't really expect. And I think that's part of the world building aspect of it.
And I mean the brutality of it, right? Of just like it wasn't
Yeah.
him, and he's like, I know, but he killed my mom. Right? Oh, dude, bro, like, yeah, so good, dude. The anyway, this was supposed to be a Star Wars episode, and I spent the whole time talking about Marvel instead. But that's what I've been. That's what I've been doing.
Well,
recently.
Speaking of Marvel, sadly, the Black Panther game just got canceled, so that kind of sucks. That was by EA.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like maybe this is because I'm not on PlayStation. I'm going to sound so out of touch. You ready? Because I don't have a PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, does anyone even play superhero games? Because as great as Marvel Rivals is, I don't consider that a superhero. You know what I mean? That's like, it's different.
I don't disagree. Yeah. I mean, like...
Yeah.
I think that superhero games just are kind of accepted as, like, kind of being, like, for the most part, somewhat, like, mediocre, Almost like, like movie games.
Right.
But I also, I don't know, like, there's certain studios that, like, when they start making something, like when Monolith was making the Wonder Woman game, I did not have any expectations of a Wonder Woman game being good, but because it was Monolith, I'm like, hey, this is one of my favorite studios making this. Like, they'll probably do a good game out of it somehow. I don't know how. Like, Wonder Woman doesn't make sense at all with the Nemesis, but sure. Like, I mean, like, I kind of trust this dude. And then, of course, that game got canceled too. So, I mean, like...
Well, and there was a time, I would say, that, like, Spider-Man and Batman were, like, bread and butter, right? Like, just like, dude, like, a Batman game or Spider-Man game was surefire, but then, everything with Suicide Squad... And so I don't know. I feel like it's not as big of a thing now to be like a superhero and that kind of an experience. Maybe
like,
it's
and apparently
oversaturated. I don't know.
I haven't played it, and like a few people that I know that have played it absolutely loved it. But like I see a lot of negative discourse about Spider-Man 2 as well, and I kind of want to know what that's about because like Spider-Man, like the first one by Insomniac was fantastic, and so was Miles Morales. So I'm kind of wondering like, okay, did they actually like do a not as good job with Spider-Man 2, or is it just like the novelty of a good superhero game is just worn off? And so like now it's like,
Yeah, that would be my same question because like, I mean, people would not shut up about Spider-Man, right? Like, especially being an Xbox gamer. Good lord, like, you guys don't have Spider-Man, da 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 da. And then, like, that just, like, it was like that for years. I'm assuming this must be the Miles Morales, regular Spider-Man years. And then that whole conversation just stopped. Right? Like, it just was suddenly over. Like, we didn't talk about Spider-Man anymore. People on PlayStation stopped talking about Spider-Man all the time. I stopped seeing the memes, of like, give me Spider-Man, kind of a deal. And... but it also is it a shift in gaming? Is it just different games are popular right now? I don't know. That's quite possible too.
I think novelty counts for a lot when it comes down to stuff.
I can't stop playing Magic the Gathering. You know what I mean? So like really,
okay, that's true.
Well, I don't know that I'm necessarily. I've got my finger on the pulse. Yeah, like let's be honest here. But it's yeah. But you know what's funny? Going back, playing the Spider-Man games that were on like the original PlayStation, I was so about that. And like Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2 was such a good game.
Right. Yeah.
That it's funny that now, if you're like, oh, Johnny, you want to be Spider-Man? I kind of don't even really want it. Like, it's like, what? Is he going to be like super quippy and, like, okay, whatever.
But that might be the right attitude to have, like, going into it, though, too. Because then, like, you play it and, like, you don't have super, super high, like, this is the holy grail expectations, you know? Like, I mean...
I was going to say that, you know what I want is I want to play a game where I can be Nightwing, but there is a game where I can be Nightwing. Never played it. Gotham Knights, right?
Oh, that's true. I forgot that game was a game.
Yeah, man, there's a game where you can be Nightwing.
Like, okay, so, like, Gotham Knights being such a, like, terrible, like, implementation of whatever it was trying to do sucks, right? Like, that's awful. Like, the fact that, like, they couldn't even, like, because my guess is because, like, shoot, what's the studio that makes the Batman games? Rocksteady. There we go. I wanted to say Rockstar, and I'm like, wait a second, no, that's not quite right. Probably because Rocksteady wanted to keep their own, like, timelines, like, relatively, like, clean for, like, Suicide Squad or whatever. But I mean, like,
that turned out to be such a success.
Yeah, I mean, there was potential there. Like, I'll die on that hill. But I mean, like, yeah, no, like the live service aspect.
So, that's a great example, though, of that. Like, Batman seemed like an untouchable IP. It's such a good IP. So many big fans of Batman, right? Two bad games in the video game, in two very big, high-profile bad games, and it's pretty rough to try and salvage it now. You know?
Yeah. Well, and just like, how do you get even worse at handling it as it goes on? I don't know. Like, I mean, like, for like a live service game like Suicide Squad to kind of dispense with like the characters the way that they did in like a drawn cutscene or whatever, as opposed to like even like an actual, like, you know, 3D cutscene, you know, it's just like, okay, well,
what? Right, that's what they did, man. I mean, I never played it. I know you and Farm did, and you guys got mad, but
we loved it right up until the very, very, like, literally the like last fight was fine. Like, we were both pretty hyped, and then like they like essentially, it's been long enough. I feel like I can spoil it. Like, Suicide Squad ends, right? You beat Brainiac. And it just feels hollow. It's like, wait a second. Like, we just stopped Brainiac from, like, blowing up the city or whatever. Like, it feels like that should be a bigger deal. And then it's like, oh, but now you have to travel to every other dimension and stop Brainiac there. And it's like, wait, what? Why? Because it's live service. That's why. Like, I mean, like, because they needed an excuse to, like, you know, like, be able to reuse the exact same assets and give them a little bit of a different, like, flavor, and, like, you know, make you play through the game again. Like, literally, that's it. Like, it's like, come on, like, this is the laziest thing ever. Like, I mean, there's a way to do like multi-dimensional stuff, but like, that's not it. Like,
no, this is what happened. This is what happened in the room. Okay. They're sitting down. They're like, how do we do this so that they keep playing it over and over again? And it's the same thing. How are we going to get them to do it? And there's one guy who's like playing Super Mario, you know, and he just beat Bowser. And it's like, thanks, Mario, but our princess is in another castle.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and that was absolutely kind of the feel you get. Like, you went through this entire game, and guess what? It doesn't really matter because there's 13 more Brainiacs out there, and you need to go kill them now. It's like, okay, well, that's really weird because also the whole point of it was that Brainiac, like, networked with the other Brainiacs or whatever to, like, take over all the, like, universes at the same time. And that's why you're also, like, you know, getting other characters from other dimensions in and everything. And then the way that they deal with, like, the whole, like, all the, like, Justice League being villains or whatever and you having to kill them is, like, in a drawn-out, like, still image, like, series of, like, images, a slideshow, essentially. It turns out that, like, the ones that you killed were from, like, they were clones. They weren't even from other dimensions. They were clones.
Oh, so you don't actually kill Batman?
So you don't even kill, like, the actual Justice League. You just kill clones of them somehow. And that's, it's like, you literally... But
do you save the actual Justice League? Do they, like, come back?
I have no idea. Because, like, I mean, like, it might show you in that cutscene, but I got so angry. It's like, hard quit out. I alt F for it. But, like, they have this whole multi-dimensional thing set up for the game. And they don't use it. And it's like, what? Like, just so frustrating. It's just, yeah. Like, honestly, Rocksteady, like, I know that you fought like the whole live service thing or whatever. You should have fought harder. Like,
Yeah, you should have. You heard it here first. Hey guys, you should have tried harder. You should have. You should have just not done it. Wow, that's crazy, D.
yeah, it's just wild. It's just like because like the writing's fun in that game, the gameplay's fun in that game. Even the DLC characters that they brought in, like I bought them all. They're all fun to play. Like I mean, like it's just like there had to have been a way to actually make a game where like the bones are there, into like an actual like fleshed out thing, and they just whiffed. And like, granted, not the first time we've seen that happen. Like, I mean, Anthem had a kind of sort of similar problem, but I mean, like, yeah, still frustrating.
Yeah, I still need to go and play, but like then I have Dragon Age Veilguard on my Steam Deck, but it doesn't run great, so I want to play it instead on my Xbox sometime. But the same deal with BioWare, right? How many duds are they going to be allowed to release before they're just done as a company? Which is a huge bummer because I actually really liked Andromeda quite a bit.
But that's like also the worry when it comes to like Rocksteady and like Monolith and like all these other things. Like, I mean, and I don't even think Monolith really released a bad game. They were just working on a game that they couldn't get to like actually be fun, right? Like they didn't even get a chance to release it. Maybe that's for the best, like why waste money on something that like halfway through you still haven't discovered the magic of? Like I get that, from a business perspective, but for Monolith to be shuttered and for like teams like Rocksteady to lose their leadership or whatever and be like seemingly maybe on the verge, hopefully not, but like I mean we'll see. Like and for BioWare to like, continually like release things that aren't well received if nothing else, I mean like yeah, I don't know what like the gaming landscape just seems to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and I think that's a bad thing, but also maybe inevitable. I mean, like
indie games are more and more popular nowadays. But
that's
I mean,
true.
Here's the thing too, not to defend, the shutting down of studios and all of that. But let me say this: like, if you're an investor or an investing company, and you invest so much money into the development of a game, and it doesn't pan out. I mean, for you as the company, you're not doing this because it's your passion and your hobby, like that investment. You know what I mean? And sure, there's like diversifying, but if stuff's not returning, you got to just at some point, like, hey, maybe they're not, maybe they don't have their finger on the pulse anymore. Maybe
for
we
the
need
most
to
part,
shut the studio down.
There are the problem that I have with like criticisms of capitalism is that they're usually wrong, or at least not like, or at least not nuanced.
Right.
But like one thing that I will say is that capitalism is all about short-term gains, not long-term gains.
Mm-hmm.
Like they never accept short-term losses ever. Like that's just, and that's unfortunate because sometimes I think a short-term loss actually nets you a huge gain in the long term, but like no one's willing to wait for that, and that's just not the way the world works.
Some Japanese companies do that. But again, these are companies that they've been around for so long, that they look that far ahead, right? They're looking at okay, well, like we're still going to exist as a company, so like we're playing like not the 3D chess comment, but like we're playing the 50-year game right now,
right?
Kind of a deal. And in the 50-year game, like if we can keep this going, like this is where we are in that process, And like right now it's going to be low, but like this is our plan. But that is, I mean, there's even to play like that, you have to be for sure and like, have enough to get through that kind of a situation too, right?
Right. Well, like, because like even if you look at like PlayStation and all their rapid changes, over the past few years or whatever, like I mean, like those have been definitely reactionary and like definitely like in response to like things not working out quite like how they planned. But I mean, like, that's also, I feel like also you can differentiate between like the software reactionary kind of like thing or whatever, like with video games specifically or like with media types like that, as opposed to like more like long-term, like sustainable things like hardware, like, like, I mean, appliances like TVs or whatever, like stuff that lasts longer and like doesn't necessarily need changes on the fly.
Right. No, it's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
And before we wrap up, when this episode comes out, Switch 2 will be out.
Yeah, this will be the episode where we don't talk about the Switch at all. And that's the title.
But to anyone who was able to get a pre-order and got it, I hope you enjoy it. I actually I have an album coming out. Well, it's not, I mean, I'm on an album of a Mario Kart compilation, like lo-fi album. I have a song on it. It's what even is the name? What is the guy was asking, like, taking title suggestions up until recently. Looks like the title of the album we're going with is it Lakitu? Lakitu's Lo-Fi Lounge. And so if you guys want to listen to some Mario Kart Lo-Fi while you play the new Mario Kart game, do check it out. I'd appreciate it. And as far as the Switch 2 goes, D, I have the unpopular opinion that it's fine and people need to chill out. I am really interested to see about how the Joy-Cons hold up. That's been my biggest issue with the other Switch, or with the original Switch. I'm interested to see how the Joy-Cons hold up, and I am really interested to see how it does with third-party stuff. But we get into that weird thing of, with the changing landscape of gaming, I actually don't know if I would, prefer an Xbox handheld to a Nintendo handheld.
That's the thing also that kind of got sort of announced this week or whatever. Two things. First, the Xbox conference on the 8th. Excited about that. We'll see what shows up there. But I mean, like, I don't necessarily know even what to predict. I mean, like, we know Outer Worlds 2 will be like the follow-up. But like, other than that, like, every single year Xbox does a great job at their showcase. So I'm sure this year will be no different. But
I'm really looking forward to having a weirdly long preview for what was that? Indiana
Outer Worlds
Jones
2? Okay,
yeah. Like that. I was like, this is weirdly a long.
Oh, that trailer, yeah.
Thing.
That was not great, but like that's like the worst that they ever get, Like they have that like moment that lingers or whatever sometimes.
Do you think they're still going to talk about stuff being exclusive, or are they just going to like be quiet about it?
That's a great question, actually. Yeah, I wonder how many things we'll see are like console exclusive or whatever. But then
anyway,
the other thing that I think Windows Central kind of announced as an exclusive report was that they've heard that the official first-party Xbox handheld has been sidelined because they're reallocating, not that it's canceled or anything, but they're reallocating assets on like working to make sure that like the Xbox handheld experience is there, like the like software side, and like that runs super well because like they know that it's not nearly anywhere close to like, for instance, like Nvidia's GeForce now. Although I would say it's still better than PlayStation's streaming service. So I mean, like, but so apparently they're really focusing on like making the Xbox app work better, both on PCs and on handhelds, and like making the the OS, like the UI and everything run smoothly and be like intuitive and everything. And that's probably the right call before like putting the hardware out. Like,
what was it? Didn't they have a commercial where they showed like a Steam Deck and they said this is an Xbox?
They showed a bunch of different devices, including a Steam Deck. Yeah, and said this is an Xbox.
So we want to let's have a little complaint fest here. So Xbox Cloud Gaming, right? That's what they're talking about. You can do Xbox Cloud Gaming. David, did you know that Xbox Cloud Gaming you can only do on Microsoft Edge?
I did not know that, actually. Really?
Well, maybe it's not just Microsoft Edge, but I have to install Edge on... There's a whole process, an annoying process that you have to do on the Steam Deck to put like cloud gaming on there. And I had to do a factory reset on my Steam Deck recently, so I lost all of that, and I haven't done it again. You know what would be really nice is if it was just easy and I could just do it. That would be cool.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Hey Microsoft, hey, why don't you do that? Why don't you just make it easy? I'd appreciate that.
That's interesting. I did not know that. I thought it was Chromium browsers, so I like.
Maybe it's a Linux thing. Maybe it's just a Steam Deck thing. I don't know, but I had to do a whole thing to launch it and to get that going, and it's super annoying.
Yeah, that's that's the thing I hate about that's why I got a ROG Ally instead, even though like I kind of like the Steam Deck in some ways more. Is that I wouldn't have to put up with like the whole
compatibility is a big one.
More workarounds, yeah.
Well, but then there's this thing of like, if you want people to do it, you got to make it easy. That's it, right? If you want people to do something, you got to make it easier for them and not make them jump through so many hoops. That's all.
Right. No, I agree.
That's it.
And yeah.
Let's wrap up. Hope you guys have a good week, and let us know if anyone got a Switch too. I appreciate it. Bye. Get out of here, Craig.